Everybody, what the flick? The season finale two-parter, apparently. We got surprised. I had no idea we were going to get 2 episodes last night. Season 5, Love Songs and I Love You, Baby. Anna, Michelle, Alonso. I think one of the strongest seasons of the show ever.
Awesome. Yeah. I was super impressed. I thought the last 2 episodes too. So there was some honesty that I loved in that. Like the level that it hit on was really impressive to me.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I like that the season, throughout the season, you get Hannah and her immaturity and her entitlement. And then she has like this interesting, almost like a coming of age in the very end when she realizes, you know what, I'm in New York. If I want a fresh start, I can have a fresh start. I want to be a bigger person, a better person. She puts herself in some scary situations and she succeeds, and I was really proud of her.
She starts running.
Me too.
Yeah, she's a runner now.
Oh my God, that opening sequence, great song and so funny.
Yeah.
She just stops every 10 seconds.
More
love
stretching.
Love
Shockingly, for a character who's generally there as kind of a punchline, I was really moved by Elijah's moment with...
Wow.
I always want to call him Purred Hapley, the news guy from Parks and Rec, but with Corey Stoll, that was some really gut-wrenching acting from Andrew Rannells, like, and for a guy who came up from Broadway, like, who was in Book of Mormon original cast, that's a close-up.
Yeah.
To like go into crying that fast and then dialing it back so you can keep having the rest of the conversation. That was a really powerful moment.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that scene.
And totally feeding into the general thing of this show, which is like, are these people going to do anything with their lives? Are they going to have ambitions? It's like, we always hear about how this is the generation that's not going to have it as good as their parents, but like, is that an excuse to not even bother? I think it's sort of the underlying question of the show a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, that scene it just felt very authentic, which was nice. And, that statement about him being aimless was just a gut punch. I mean, I even felt it, and I don't identify as someone who's aimless, and I was just like, oh God, that must be the worst feeling to hear that from someone you admire and want to be with.
Yeah, and especially after you put yourself out in the way that he did.
Yeah.
He was so open and like, honestly, like the fact that he said, your analysis of me is correct. And you aren't the answer. Like the way that hit, that was painful.
Because that's we've been conditioned by years of rom-coms that, when you put yourself out there and you make the big declaration that's always supposed to go well. Yeah. And it doesn't always go well. So, the show acknowledges that. I really like the scenes also with, in the next to last episode, with Jenny Slate's character. And Dave was saying, that is Lena Dunham talking about Lena Dunham. Do we think that's true?
Oh,
the whole thing about like that I'm not even myself anymore and that I check Google every day and that I'm this creation that I have to keep going.
Maybe. I thought Jenny Slate's performance was spectacular, and she's from Parks and Rec, obviously.
Oh, that's true,
and
yeah.
like one of my favorite actresses.
Absolutely.
Like so talented. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to remember if she referred to anything about that in her book. I read her book.
I read her book too. I don't remember anything about that.
Yeah,
but
I don't either.
It would make sense. I
or
mean,
at least maybe on a shitty day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ever Google
identified
yourself.
with it. Yeah, no, exactly.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No. No, I loved it. And I thought where Adam and Jessa's scene ended up was kind of exactly what I had been afraid of for them the entire time.
That's
right?
funny because I wasn't. I
Really?
mean, I remember some of the sex scenes with Hannah in previous seasons, and I was like, man, they had an abusive relationship. It seems like Adam and Jessa have it figured out. They're more compatible. They have better chemistry. They're probably not going to have like these weird sexual encounters that seem kind of abusive. But no, they had a sexual encounter that seemed kind of abusive.
Yeah, and a full-on fight. I mean, I just think they're such wild cards, and they've always been so inconsistent in personality that when you have those two really big personalities that are totally unreliable in terms of their responses, that was what I was worried would happen.
Yeah. They're kind of the crazy passion people, you know, and obviously if you're an actor or an artist or whatever, that works and you can fuel your work into that and you have to sort of figure out how to balance it in your life. But yeah, the two of them together, that's a whole lot of id colliding, and poor Ray, that was his apartment they trashed, not one of theirs.
I forgot about
that was Ray's apartment.
Oh.
Speaking of Ray.
But no, Ray's happy
God,
now.
Ray.
Ray's happy.
Ray's happy. Ray's getting what he wants. The question is, will it last? And I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anything worse than being like Marnie's lapdog. Like how long is that going to go well? But of course, again, Desi somehow on this show manages to be the worst, which is some doing with this crowd.
Yeah, Desi is pretty universally unlikable.
Yes.
Like, it is difficult.
And so is his new girlfriend.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
the way she interrupted Desi and, Marnie having a conversation was frustrating. And I wouldn't have handled it as maturely as Marnie did.
No.
Which is incredible because I feel like Marnie is so immature in so many ways, but she was calm during that situation. I feel like if some woman came and interrupted my conversation with my soon-to-be ex-husband, I'd be like, bitch, you better step back.
I think Marnie is upping her game. I think Marnie's upping her game here because the new girlfriend, the Lisa Bonet character, is such a cool customer that she has to be like,
yes.
Before talking to her.
Cool as a cucumber. Remember that scene? I loved it.
But is she gone by the end?
Well, she's gone for like a funeral. I think she'll be back.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if since he was getting the head from the other person.
Yeah, no, I think she's not there right this second, so that just opens the door apparently too,
Yeah, he does suck.
And Shosh getting to put her skills to use.
I like it.
That was such a sweet dancing scene with her and
Hermie,
Hermie, I absolutely loved it.
I love the idea that for her to go undercover and like take notes of the coffee shop, she's literally going to put on a trench coat and just but then she passes herself off as a random word poet, like
I loved it.
It's funny because both this show and Fear the Walking Dead made Jonestown references this week, so weird culty behavior. But I think we've seen Hannah have a real turnaround. I mean, because the last episode was just some of her most exasperating behavior ever. But yeah, by the end of it, she's in the scene with the hitchhiker, and she sort of reawakens to the idea of like, oh yeah, New York, there are all these amazing opportunities, and I can start over here and be what I want to be, and so. I feel like that she's being very direct with her parents, and they in turn are going to maybe start making better choices for themselves. And doing the Moth was good for her.
Yeah, I love that she did that. And I don't know if this stood out to you guys, but right before she went up to share her story, someone took her notes away from her.
Yes, that's a thing at the Moth. You can't have notes.
But I love that happened because for me it was symbolic. It represented Hannah not being able to get shit done because she's constantly worried about all this nonsense, like maybe sticking to a script or doing things a certain way that's, I don't know, appealing to others. And, letting go of those notes let her go up there and speak off the cuff, and her story was so much better as a result of that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I love that they didn't make it about whether it was good and whether everyone loved it.
Yeah.
Like, it was really about her telling that story, and they didn't give you that normal movie thing where they say, and she wins.
Yeah, or the slow clap,
like,
where everybody gets up and gives her a standing ovation.
Yeah.
She's a genius.
That's not the point.
It's
It's the doing of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the scene with Elijah and her mom after outside was so good, and her dad going off and finding his male interest
hookup,
again. I thought that was cool.
But yeah, but I love Elijah's line about like, I got my whole life ahead of me and I'm still not accomplishing anything. Like, it's funny, and at the same time it's like, ugh, that is sort of the underlying panic moral of this show of like, are these people going to like get out of their own way and actually accomplish something, And we have one more season to find out, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, I'm exciid for it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Great season, and great to have you guys recapping this week. And join us again next season. We'll get these guys back.